Welcome to AFA Reaction Videos, where we react to everything theme park. Hey, I'm Chris, and this is AFA Reaction Videos. Today, I hate to say it, I believe this will be, for a while, my last Efteling video. So, someone requested me to actually, to react to the History of Efteling, and I tried to go back and find out what video they wanted me to react to. So I could not find it for some reason. I went back through my comments. I could not find the comment, so I just chose one to react to. It's the History of Efteling, and I believe who's it by. I don't see. Let me see. I'll tell you who it's by here in just a second. Expedition Theme Park. So I will be putting them in the description, giving them credit for the video. But so before we get started, if you like my channel and you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you know when I upload another video. Also, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up because it helps me and the video with the YouTube algorithm. But enough of that. Let's get on to watching and reacting to the History of Efteling.
Welcome back to Expedition Weekly. On this week's episode, we're heading to the Netherlands to take a look at one of the most visited theme parks in Europe, Efteling. Wow. I'm going to apologize in advance for my awful Dutch pronunciations, which I will pronounce wrong.
I know where he's coming from.
Een wereld vol wonderen.
So I have watched some of this
Efteling
guy's
is the
videos
largest
before.
Theme park in the Netherlands and one of the oldest theme parks in the world. It opened on May 31st, 1952 and evolved from a nature playground into a fairytale forest. We'll be taking a look at the park's history and give a little glimpse as to what this charming park based on ancient myths, legends, fables and fairy tales is all about. Located in the town of Kaatsheuvel, the Efteling Nature Park Foundation was founded in 1950 by the mayor of Loon, R.J. von der Heyden, filmmaker Peter Reinders, and designer artist Anton Pique. The name came from a 16th century farm called Oosterling. Work began in 1951 for the expansion of the park to introduce a new playground, tea house, sports field, and a pond, as well as parking facilities. It wasn't until 1952 and the introduction of the Fairytale Forest that things really started to take off, and a shift from the recreational
the Fairytale
park
Forest has
to a
been
theme
around
park.
since 1952.
The Fairytale Forest opened with 10 fairy tales within it. Sleeping Beauty, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, The Frog Prince, Longneck, and the Chinese Nightingale were just some of the fairy tales featured. In its first year, it saw over 220,000 visitors through the gates.
Wow.
Over the next couple of years, the park would continue to expand, adding more fairy tales such as Hansel and Gretel and introducing a steam carousel. By 1956, the attendance had more than doubled to over 700,000 a year. There is a long-standing rumor and legend that claims that Walt Disney himself visited the early Efteling park and was inspired to break ground on his own park in California. However, this may not be entirely true. Walt did take inspiration from a variety of different places when designing Disneyland, places such as Griffith Park in Los Angeles and Tivoli Gardens in Copenhagen. So it is not a completely bogus theory that he could have drawn some inspiration from Efteling. Walt did tour the Netherlands at least once during the 50s, but allegedly this was more to visit a studio that was dubbing Walt Disney films into Dutch. It's an intriguing rumor to say the least, with the crossover of
Okay, so I'm going to pause it right there. So somebody has told me this. Like I said, we don't know if it's true. I do know that Walt had been over in Europe just to get a train. He just went over to buy a train. So knowing Walt Disney, I could see that he may have visited Efteling sometime while he was there. The thing is I don't think it was ever documented whether he did or not, but it's quite possible that, yeah, I mean, because I know Walt, he made trips over to Europe, and like they said, if he'd been to the one park, I don't know why he wouldn't have gone to the other park in the Netherlands. So it may be possible he may have drawn some inspiration from Efteling, but obviously Efteling wasn't the only park that he drew inspiration from. But I think that's pretty cool, and it would be neat if we could actually find out if Walt ever did actually visit the park. Okay.
Fairy tales and some similar themes.
We're here just to see Holland, to visit Holland. While here, I hope to pay a visit to the Polygon Profility Studios, who have been doing the Dutch versions of all of our pictures. And I hear by those that would know and be qualified to judge that they've been doing a very good job. And I hope the Dutch people have liked them too.
One such connection between Disney and Efteling is true though. During the construction of Disneyland Paris, Disney Imagineers consulted Efteling during the construction and its design phase to help adapt the American park to European taste.
Oh wow.
1959 saw the addition of a friendly glutton, Pollybollygeist, who is a paper devouring bin. He still operates in the park to this day and is famous around the world for begging to be fed paper.
This is an awesome way to get kids to throw away trash.
If you did not grow up in Western Europe, you may be unfamiliar with some of the characters inside the park. While it does feature familiar characters such as Red Riding Hood, other characters such as Longneck is a character from The Six Servants, one of the Brother Grimm's less
that was one I
well-known
never heard
stories.
of.
Longneck can, as the name suggests, grow his neck to various lengths to see across long distances. Throughout the 60s, more fairy tales were added to the park, as well as a miniature railway and dioramas. Anton Pique, the first lead designer of the park, is seen as one of the reasons why the park had great success. His illustration style being grim and dark while also nostalgic was a philosophy the park would keep, with no cheap building materials ever used. In the mid-70s, the chief designer position had been passed down onto Ton van der Ven, who had already been working at Efteling for several years. Pique was said to be very pleased with Van der Ven's work, and in
Even
1978
just seeing
saw
this
the
part
addition of the
for a
Haunted
second time
Castle
is just
attraction, which
unbelievable.
was the first to be designed entirely by him. Van der Ven is
Wow.
considered by many to be the best Imagineer outside of Disney, and continued his work until 2002 when he retired. We will take a look at some of Van der Ven's rides in further details in the future weekly episodes, but he designed multiple popular attractions within the park.
This is an awesome attraction. I really liked this when I enjoyed it.
The first still coaster was added to the park in 1981, called Python. This was a resounding success from its first day operating, but did have some issues.
This is the one that
operating
reminds
late
me of the
due to noise
Vortex.
the ride created later in its life. The ride was actually demolished and recreated in 2017, keeping as true to the original as possible, but with a smoother and quieter ride. The park continued to add top quality attractions throughout the 80s, and the park expanded greatly. Rides such as Half Moon, the swinging ship, Piranha, a river raft ride, Bob Track, a bobsled roller coaster.
The swinging ship, I think almost every amusement park except for Disney has this. Cedar Fair, they own multiple parks in the United States, and I'm pretty sure every single one of them has that. The closest amusement park to me is called Kings Island, and they have it. I remember getting on that, and one side would yell at the other side as they went back and forth. Usually it had to do with an old Budweiser commercial, and they used to have a Budweiser commercial where you'd have a group of people yelling less filling, the other side would say tastes great, and there for a long time you get on that. When one side went up, they'd yell less filling, and the other side go up, they'd say tastes great. It went on like that, and then sometimes there was other stuff, but it was pretty neat.
And also an observation tower with some of the additions to the park.
Wow.
1992 saw Efteling turn 40 years old, and it's celebrated by opening the first on-site hotel. There was also a museum exhibit of initial designer Anton Pique. The resort has continued to grow since then.
I have checked out the resort or the hotel there, and man, are those rooms themed. They're amazing looking. So, one of my viewers that I've had for a while, her name is Mar, and she said that once I started posting Efteling videos, I sent her down a rabbit hole because she ended up telling me about the rooms there at the hotel at Efteling, and I had to go check it out for myself.
And now offers 2 hotels, the theme park, a theatre, and a golf course, as well as 2 holiday villages.
They have a golf course.
1993
awesome.
saw the addition of Dreamflight, in which visitors fly through a dream world of forests, castles, and other fairy tale-like scenes. The ride puts visitors in small open cabins hanging from the ceiling. The ride was initially supposed to open in 1992 to correlate with the anniversary, but delays with the ride cabin saw it delayed, with the ride costing $4.5
still amazing, even the second time you see it.
Expected, bringing its total cost to $12.5 million. The most expensive ride at Efteling to that day, but a beautiful crafted dark ride was added to the park.
Just amazing looking.
1996 saw the addition of 2 new major parts of the park. The House of the Five Senses was created by Ton van der Ven as the new entrance to the Efteling, and the introduction of the Madhouse ride.
Villa Volta, yes!
Up until 1999,
such an amazing ride.
Operated seasonally from April until October. As the park was expanding greatly and its popularity continued to increase, the park's management experimented with the idea of Winter Efteling, which would keep the park open with a selection of rides, but would feature holiday displays and Christmas lights. Winter Efteling still occurs from November until February, but the park is open year-round. As the years progress, more rides and fairy tales are continually
really, for Efteling to be a park that's open year-round, with being that, if I'm right, the Netherlands isn't in a warm climate area. So, for like the United States, the only parks that are open year-round are ones that are down in the south that are in a warm climate. Parks that are up north, you don't usually see open year-round. So that's amazing that they stay open year-round.
Added to the park.
Kapitein van der Dekken met Pasen
wow.
In stremende stormwind verliet hij zijn bruid.
2007 saw the addition of the Flying Dutchman water coaster / Darkrai.
This is an amazing coaster.
The spectacular theming the park is known for. And in 2008 saw the replacement of the park's first wooden coaster Pegasus, which was replaced by a dueling wooden roller coaster called George and the Dragon. As the park continued to expand, Efteling saw the addition of its first nighttime show in 2012 called Aquanura. The water show is the largest in Europe and features the 3rd largest fountain in the world. It is often compared to a smaller version of Disney's World of Color at Disney's California Adventure.
Amazing. Such a great show.
Some notable additions to the park in recent years is the B&M dive coaster Baron 1898, another heavily themed coaster set in 1898.
Another great coaster. This is just amazing. Look at this.
Within this park though on future expeditions. Efteling was largely built in a pine forest in a rural area, giving the park a very natural feel. It has an abundance of green space and allows the visitors to get sucked into its storytelling. Growing from just 10 fairy tales in a Fairytale Forest in 1952 to over 29 these days, the park goes from strength to strength. There are a variety of different attractions, shows, and museums for all ages to be entertained, and the intricate theming and attention to detail keep this marvelous park at the top of many people's favorites. From its unique take on attractions to its focus on unique...
See, just looking at this, I'm seeing stuff that I didn't see before in other videos. You're going to see different stuff because a lot of times whoever's doing the video might not catch something that somebody else would. So, I mean, seeing this the way I'm seeing right now, it's still amazing, but just seeing more different stuff.
Fairy tales, such as a statue of a donkey who can poop gold from the Brothers Grimm story, The Table, the Ass, and the Stick. The statue really does poop plastic gold. I strongly encourage anyone visiting Europe to check out Efteling. We hope you enjoyed this look at the park and keep an eye out on future expeditions that will give a more in-depth look at some of the rides and attractions the park has to offer.
So wow, that's awesome. I love that. It's, you know, just to know that kind of history for a park, that's amazing. You know, the thing is you don't really get that. You don't really hear too much of the history of parks like you do with that. And I really enjoyed that. And man, wouldn't it be nice to be able to, for somebody to find just a picture of Walt Disney there at Efteling. So, but I mean, obviously, without whether Disney visited or not, Efteling is still an amazing park on its own, not having to have that, you know, reputation of having Walt being inspired by it. Obviously, it's a magical place. You can tell by the way it looks and by the rides. And there's some amazing dark rides there. Some, I would say, if they don't compare to Disney dark rides, they're better than Disney dark rides. So, but that's going to do it. I will see you tomorrow for another AFA reaction video. We'll see you later. Bye.